This is Gerardo Del Real with Resource Stock Digest. Joining me today is the VP of Exploration for Q2 Metals, Mr. Neil McCallum. Neil, it's great to have you on. Congrats again, sir. You just drilled 188.6 meters, grading 1.56% lithium. That included 26 meters of 2.03% lithium at the Cisco lithium property, of course, in James Bay. You have to be pleased with what you're seeing. Tell me about the results, specifically drill hole 23.
Yeah, 23 was a great hole as well. You know, it's not quite as good as 18 or 21 with, over 200 or 300 meters, but it still is right on track with our strike direction at the very south end. So it really left us on a high note. And we're just thrilled with those results. We just can't be happier. Hole 22, not far away, a little bit more to the east on things, hitting three pretty significant intervals as well with good grade. So we're just continuing that story, putting the final touches on what we did this summer in terms of the analytical. And then we are very excited about what's going to happen this winter with our new program.
Let's talk about the approach for the new program. You're proving just, amazing scale, amazing continuity, you have amazing infrastructure, and clearly the grade is there, which bodes well for the future. But as far as 2025 goes, what's the approach there?
For sure. That's a good question. We're going to be totally financed for our roughly 6,000 to 8,000 meter program that's going to be running January through to March. So we'll have 2 drill rigs up there for sure. And then I guess depending on how the warrant money comes in from what's expiring, I believe in February, there could be an increase to that program near the end. But the overall goal is to extend what we've already found. And I think that might be a bit of a confusing statement to some people, because why would you need to expand on what we've already found? It looks great, but I think it's important to reiterate that we've only really tested less than a quarter of what we found at surface. So we've been very successful drill testing beneath all these spodumene occurrences that come in right to surface, and that strike length is 850 meters, but with those surface results, we see the potential of that being almost 2 kilometers. So we have to give ourselves an understanding of what the total project is before we focus on drilling out a deposit and putting that tonnage out to the world. We want to understand what we have first, and that's going to be this winter. We've got a good plan laid out to expand in all directions.
Excellent. When can we anticipate, and it's always what else do you got, right? Excellent results today. But when can we anticipate the next bit of news, and when do you anticipate getting back out there and letting that drill rig prove the continuity and the scale of this thing?
Yeah, for sure. So the next steps, we have one more hole to report on. That'll be as soon as we get the results from the lab. And with that result, we'll do a bit of a wrap up on the program, kind of putting things into a little bit more context with all of the analytical information in hand. And then we'll get out there, end of January, starting with the drills turning, and then we can put out news release on the visual pegmatite intervals, likely mid-February. So that's coming up. So we can't wait to start getting news out again and keeping people informed with the story.
No, look, never a dull moment. Congrats on a heck of a 2024. I know a lot of the warrant money I just exercised warrants from, I think, the 32-cent warrants that I had, and I have 60-cent ones that I'm in the process of getting exercised as well. I know that'll help the treasury out. I cannot wait for the drills to start turning, and I think 2025 is going to be a banner year. What are your thoughts before I let you go, Neil, on the lithium space? The spodumene price seems to have bottomed and turned back up. Can't help but notice as we get closer to tax loss selling season being over and behind us that a lot of the better names that have been beaten up are starting to turn around slowly but surely, right?
Yep.
Thoughts on the sector?
No, thoughts on the sector. I think you described that quite accurately. Everybody is seeing the same fundamentals that haven't gone away in terms of supply demand. So the picture looks positive for lithium, positive for the battery manufacturers, and we still need to catch up on supply. And that's where the exploration companies and development companies come into play. So our job is to catch up as much as we can to be a part of that picture.
Do you believe, we had the recent ban of exports of antimony, among other metals, from China. Do you believe that North American companies, whether it's chemical companies, lithium companies, producers, automakers, do you think they're finally starting to get the picture about why there should be an urgency to establish an independent critical metal supply chain in North America, including lithium? Because there's nothing that says, China won't wake up tomorrow and decide that it wants to go ahead and ban the exports of lithium as well, right?
Well, or put limitations on it or what have you. I think it's an incredibly good idea for companies to diversify supply. And if you don't want to go to Africa, which I understand why a lot of people wouldn't, you've got South America, but there's not a lot there. Quebec is the place to be. So I think that there should be a lot of attention focused on Canada and specifically Quebec. Of course, I'm biased, but that's how I view it.
Well, I'm biased as well. I'm biased with my checkbook. I'm biased with with my capital, and so I hope that 2025 sees an acceleration with share prices recovering, of renewed build out of infrastructure and of deals here with automakers and chemical companies and the likes. Can't think of a better place right now to really set that off than Quebec. So, Neil, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on. We're going to chat soon. I know you have assays pending on one hole, and then I can't wait for 2025. Thank you.
Absolutely. Take care.
All right. Cheers now. Hey, everybody. Gerardo Del Real here. If you're enjoying the content that you just saw, you can let us know in 3 simple steps. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and please share across your network and on social media. Take care, everybody.